Joe, heading into the break, I think 8 wins over the last 10 here. Where do you feel like you guys have come along in recent weeks here, improved most going into the break?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing is just we've continued to look at wins and losses and find ways to get better regardless and stick to the process of what goes into winning and on a nightly basis and continue to chip away at that. So we're going to keep that going.
And Torrey making his debut tonight, what did you see from him? And even in the Miami game and tonight, I saw you kind of talking to him and walking him through some stuff along the sideline. What kind of conversations are you guys having as the game goes on?
Yeah, I mean, he's got an important role just because of his versatility, right? So it's going to take time for him to understand the language and the things that we do on both ends of the floor. And you can watch as much film and walk through it, but until he's in the game, it's going to just continue to be a conversation of how we could utilize his versatility on both ends of the floor. So he did some of that tonight, with his defensive versatility and then, making those 2 shots. So we're just going to get him up to speed.
Joe, on that same note, with Torrey, what's the challenge there of working somebody in that can help, and he is versatile and can be important, but he is starting from behind, so there's teaching there. Like, is there a balance? Is there a level of playing him through, letting him play through mistakes, but also, like, where's the line of how many mistakes he can make before it's detrimental? You know what I'm getting at?
I mean, one, you got to rely on his experience. He's been around a long time. He's played a lot of basketball, and it's not rocket science. So I think it's just simplifying it as much as we can, but also utilizing the experience that he's had. He's done a lot of great things for good teams, and that's why we have him. And so we want to take advantage of that. At the same time, have an understanding of how versatile he can be for us. And every team, that you're a part of, you play a different role. And so his role is important in some of the stuff that we're able to do. And he's been great as far as understanding that, even during the games, asking questions and during film sessions. So everyone's going to make mistakes. Even the guys that have been here for, in our system have made mistakes. It's, to me, goes back to the mistakes with effort versus the mistakes in non-effort. And so, he's been the player for a long time who's, played through mistakes and is a high-energy, high physical guy.
And as far as tonight, it seemed like you guys were really putting in a lot of effort on the rebounding end. Only 6 second chance points for them, and it seems like recently that when you guys have been rebounding well, that's really led to some big runs for you guys.
Yeah, I mean our first shot defense is really good, and our defensive shot quality on the first shot defense is high level. And to me, it's just those margins, right? It's those the rebounding on both ends of the floor are what leads to the runs. Give guy extra shots. So we just have to continue to work on those things that lead to building runs and stopping runs. And to me, that's part of the process of winning.
Joe, Wembanyama is obviously a very unique defender, just purely in his ability to cover a lot of ground with his wingspan. When you're game planning for going up against him, how much are you relying on maybe adjusting what you guys do in offense versus just the reads of your players, like in the middle of the game?
I mean, we're always doing that regardless. All teams have different strengths and versatilities defensively, so we're very fortunate that we have 2 guys that could, 2 centers that can shoot on the perimeter, and so it allows us to be a little bit more, versatile and creative in what we're able to do. But every game presents different puzzles, and we just have to continue to solve those, and they change within the game. And I think that's sometimes where we go through some phases of the game where we're not sharp, is we're figuring out what that puzzle is at that particular time, because teams are doing a good job of working to put us in those situations. So we just got to continue to get better at that.
There were a couple times tonight. Obviously, Jason read Wemby coming up on the screen there. Drove, got a dunk. Kristaps had a few pump fakes down there, managed to hit a hook shot. What did you see in this game specifically, adjusting to that length that he presented?
I mean, again, it's just about our spacing and our rim reads, whatever the right decision is at that particular time. Making sure we're intentional about the proper spacing, making sure we're intentional about making the right 2-on-1 read, wherever that may be, regardless of who's out there.
You guys have held your opponents to under 25 points in 7 of your last 12 quarters, had 2 of them tonight. What have you liked most about what you guys are doing on the defensive end?
Yeah, I mean, those things, that number is a process of going into limiting teams to 1 shot, getting back in transition, keeping guys off the free throw line, taking away tendencies. And so what that shows is a disciplined approach towards the margins, the things that go into winning, and the details. And so, we have to continue to do that. You see a difference between quarter 1, quarter 4, and quarter 3, right? Where the beginning of the third quarter, we had like 5 or 6 turnovers, and they have 8 points in transition before we know it. So I just got to continue to work through those things.
Sorry, Joe. So, talking about Al Horford and his defensive abilities, I mean, doesn't matter if it's 7-foot Giannis, 7'1" Embiid, now it's 7'5" Wemby. What's the magic for Al Horford's defense? Why can he defend these guys who are just so huge?
I think it's just it's a competitive spirit. He's just an innate competitor. Two, he pays a high level of attention to detail and what the tendencies are, and he takes pride in his defense. And so people lead in different ways, and he leads us with that. Thanks.